Hello Steelers, and welcome to this interesting video. Hopefully it's going to be an interesting video. I've been looking forward to this. I'm here with Mr. Midgard here, James Morris. We are down at Wargames Illustrated today. You can see we're in the salubrious surroundings of this. And we are going to be playing a very special game that James and I have been talking about, I think, for about a year. Yeah. Since Partisan, was it last year? I think we mentioned it. Yeah. We both had an interest in the First World War. Yeah. And we've kind of dragged him out of the Dark Ages, or the early medieval period, Alex. Let's get it right. So, do you want to tell everybody what we're doing here?
Yeah, so 10 years ago, well, this is kind of where the conversation started, because you're obviously really into World War One and World War One gaming. I came to it quite late in life. I didn't get into it till about 10 years ago. It was Sidney Roundwood's Verdun game that he was running around the shows at the time, playing the Lades Mud and Blood rules. And I don't know, I'd never considered World War One as a proper gaming period before. I'm not meaning to sound condescending, but I went through the classic thing that Rich Clark described in the intro to Through the Mud and the Blood, whereby I knew about World War One. I read kind of Charlie's War and stuff when I was a kid in Battle Comic, but then I had basically watched Blackadder Goes Forth and gone through English literature, GCSE, where essentially you're learning about the First World War through the war poets. Mm-hmm. And for those reasons, I've never really considered it as something that I would want to wargame. Yeah. And that kind of changed about 10 years ago. My mum was always into family history, did some digging on relatives. We found I had a relative who was shot down and killed in the Royal Flying Corps in World War One, but I just began to realise that this was actually a really interesting gaming period. If you could get over that step.
You're underplaying that a little bit. He was not just shot down, was he? He was shot down by a particular flyer.
Okay, he was shot down and killed by the Red Baron, by
there you go.
Von Richthofen, which was a bit of a shock when I found that one out. But in fairness, he shot down a lot of planes, so it's probably not a huge surprise. But it just began to realise there was a huge amount to play here. I've been playing lots of Chain of Command, lots of World War II, some Spanish Civil War, stuff like that, and kind of thinking, well, actually, World War One is absolutely fine to game, but you need to research it and get your head around it. And that took us on a trip to Verdun. So 10 years ago in the summer, I took off on a trip to Verdun with a couple of friends, slept in a tent for a few nights, and basically went out to see all the forts and get an idea of the battlefield. And again, I think my interest in World War has always been, well, it's quite Anglo-centric, isn't it? We think about the war poets and so forth. We get a very Anglo-centric take on it. And to find out about the French experience at Verdun was very, I'm not quite sure what the word is, very levelling experience. It's a very humbling experience. Once you get into reading about what happened, you think, wow, I am so lucky to be alive and not back then. But also, it just got me really interested in the whole Verdun battle. I've always liked kind of forts and castles, so that kind of drew me to Fort Vaux. And having visited and taken loads of reference photos, I ended up building a 1/56 scale model of Fort Vaux, which is what you see in front of you. We toured it around all the shows in 2016 for the 100th anniversary of the battle, and then it's kind of sat in the loft for a bit whilst I've been getting distracted with swords and shields and Midgard and all that kind of nonsense. So it was a great opportunity. Award-winning nonsense, yes. But it was really nice to have the opportunity to come back to this. And you went to Verdun last year for the first time, and we said we've got to meet up and do this as a game. So here we are.
And I thought, it's going to make a very good introduction to World War One gaming for people, because I bang on about it all the time on Storm of Steel. So this is just a different way of looking at it, isn't it, compared to having those trench boards that people always feel like they have to have.
There's so many stereotypes with World War One, which are gradually being challenged, but working their way into the public consciousness. But the Fort Vaux battle is absolutely nuts, and so, I mean, the model I've got here is a 3D model. It's a 3D floor plan. We were saying earlier, this was kind of inspired by the classic floor plans that Dave Andrews did for Games Workshop in the 1980s. I'd been toying with how could I make this. I had lots of ideas originally to make it in boards, make it in sections, make it as a full model with a lift-off roof. And gradually I came down to the common sense that A, my marriage wouldn't survive me building a model that big and trying to store it in the house, but B, that it was far better to make it in sections, because this is essentially subterranean combat. So in May 1916, as part of Operation Makeup, the Germans broke in to 2 of the access tunnels to Fort Vaux, which is what we've got going on down there, and then fought their way up into the centre of the complex over a 4-day period, at the end of which the garrison had to surrender after they ran out of water.
It's an incredible story, isn't it? I mean, I knew a little about Verdun before I went, but when you're reading about it and absorbing it and being on the battlefield and in those places where these things were happening.
Yeah, I mean, the Verdun battlefield has been described, I think, by the author Christina Holstein as a kind of Cinderella battlefield, where you go there and no, sorry, not Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty battlefield, where you go there and it's all as it was 100 years ago. And I really felt that about a lot of it. And Fort Vaux, I mean, it's astonishingly well preserved. You can go down most of the tunnels, but not all of them. But you can really, with a guidebook, you can really track the course of the fighting and the human stories that went on there. So this game is an attempt to kind of bring that to life. It was a bit of, it's a model making project, no question, but it's also about kind of bringing that story to people.
Brilliant. Well, with that introduction, what we're going to do is we're going to play through this game.
Absolutely.
We'll show you some of the highlights of the game. We'll talk about it as things happen, and I'm very much looking forward to this.
Good.
And
Good
again,
luck.
thanks for.
You're the Germans.
I am. Okay, so first turn is basically we play cards, don't we, James?
We do.
The Germans are allowed to play 2 cards per tunnel, and I have played grenades and reinforcements. I probably don't need to explain those, do I? Grenades are grenades, reinforcements.
Very straightforward.
And then James has played 2 blank cards.
Yeah, the French have got a limited deck of cards, including some blank ones, so I'm putting those in early so I can see what Alex has got in his hand. Right, let's throw some dice.
Meanwhile, so tell me how it works, James.
You need 1 dice per figure. You've got fighting, so you've got 10 figures, but you put an extra 1 in because you've got reinforcements, so you get 12 dice. However, the reinforcements is a pre-game sequence, so someone's going to run up the steps of a grenade before the combat starts. So just roll us 1d6 for the grenades and let's see what happens.
See what happens with this. Looking for a 6. Come on, baby.
That looks like a 2 to me. So 2. Remove 1 French soldier, so one of my defenders has gone from the barricade.
Well, that's a start, isn't it?
But that's reduced the size of my squad before the fighting actually starts.
In there.
Right, now we're going to do the first attack of the day. So the grenades are gone, we take that off. You've played your reinforcements, that's off. So you're going to throw 12 dice here.
Right,
the
so
French,
there's 10, there's 12.
The French defence starts with 8 men. You've killed 1 with a grenade, so we have 7.
7 men. And what are we looking for on these?
Well, because it's much easier to defend this kind of thing than attack it. You've got to roll 6s, but I've only got to roll 5s or 6s.
Wow. Okay, so odds are stacked against me straight away. 6s.
Ooh.
I've just got the one there.
Yeah, whereas
Nasty.
I have got 2 5s. So, 2 5s removes 2 of your German models.
So that's an instant kill then?
Instant kill, yeah, it's a casualty. We don't need to know the details, but you've removed 1 of the French
I think his family would like to know the details.
Yeah, they would. Right, if the French cause more casualties than the Germans, we hold our position. So
you have
now we're on to the second attack of the day. So there's going to be 4 attacks each day. So your surviving Germans are going to move up the line, and we've used all our grenades and fancy stuff, so now we're literally back to rolling dice.
So I'm just back down to 10 now, aren't I?
Yeah, I'm on 6 though, because you have reduced my figures. And
I've taken 1 guy
we know that the French built all kinds of barricades in the corridors. Oh, you've read the accounts.
Yes. I'm still traumatised.
It is traumatising. Well, I've got no hits.
Well, I've got 1.
Yeah, so my best roll is a 4, which is not good enough. So that removes another brave French defender. Now, the Germans have now caused more casualties than the French. You caused 1 more than me, so I'm going to retreat 1 position.
Okay.
So what happens here is the surviving French defenders move back behind the second barricade, and then the Germans move up to attack.
So basically what's happening here is it's almost like James has described it as a ladder. The Germans are moving up through these barricades, whereas the French are obviously defending them as much as they can.
Yeah, it's almost board game like in that respect, in that essentially when you win, you move up. The French don't push you back at this point, but they hold their position. But as you can see, you've still got 11, I think, or 10.
10 men.
You've still got 10 men. I'm down to 5 dice now.
So we're on to our next attack then.
Yeah, so this is probably late afternoon of the first day of the assault, and I'm on 5 dice. Right. I need some 5s. Oh, none.
Look at that. 2 6s. There you go.
Right, I'm going to change my dice.
That would be a blunder in some rules.
Might be, but yeah. So I have got no hits. You've got 2, reducing my strength down to 3 men. Now you've won by 2 there,
right?
So we're going to be pushed back 2 steps along here. So we're going back 1, 2. So we're actually back to the latrine block, which I remember from your visit.
I certainly do, yeah. That was a pretty horrific place to be in, even today, you know.
Well, they used the magazines next to it, they were using as a morgue, weren't they, during the siege?
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, once that part fell,
grim.
That was, right, we're now the evening, the first day of the battle, so this is the fourth
attack, and I still haven't lost any, have I? Apart from
you haven't. You lost your 2 reinforcements, so I'm on 3 dice. So I really need to hold you off at this point.
I do. Let's have a look. Well, this time I've scored nothing.
I've got 1. Right, that takes off one of the Germans, and we hold our position.
So that's a hold because you've only beat me by 1.
Yeah, we don't push you back.
Right,
we only push you back if your entire squad is wiped out.
Right, okay.
The French are essentially trying to hold that, and can do so as long as they've got Germans in the tunnel.
Well, to be fair, I think that's not a bad start for a first day.
I think that's extremely good, and I think next turn I'm going to pull out all my big cards.
Just to quickly say, I've played Flamethrower, because why not? And Heroic NCO as well, so this is our chap here, isn't he?
So you have a bold graffiter who's come out and is going to instill in them the need to push up the tunnel, and the flamethrowers in these conditions have been absolutely hideous.
For the Kaiser.
On my side, I've played a blank card, but I've also brought up a Heroic NCO.
So it's going to be a clash of personalities, I think.
Right, there's no pre-game roll on this, so the blank card comes out and we play. So your flamethrower has the special ability that it doesn't roll any extra dice, but if you get any 6s, they scores 2 casualties rather than 1 on the French.
Right.
So it's a more effective weapon.
Okay.
After each round of combat, there is a chance it might go horribly wrong, but we'll deal with that in a moment.
Don't tell me that now.
Again, the heroic NCOs can be killed in the fighting.
Yeah.
So,
and it says here, doesn't it, for the heroic NCOs, during round of combat, you may re-roll any missed attack that rolled a 1.
That's it. Yes.
Okay, so I suppose is that just a one-off? Then the card disappears, or we can
it's throughout.
Right.
As long as the NCO isn't killed or wounded, because of course that's kind of right. So I'm on 8 dice looking for 6s.
And you're looking for 6s. You're looking for 5 and 6s.
Sorry, 5 and 6s, and I've got 4 of them.
Well, I've got 4 as well.
Right. And that's not good because those 6s. Oh, the flamethrowers have absolutely destroyed.
I've got it in the perfect position, haven't I?
They have. So 4 from here removes 4 of the German attacking party.
Yeah.
But those are doubled because of the flamethrower, meaning they're gone.
That's
all 8,
isn't it? All 8 are gone.
You have destroyed the morale of the French on this side in the tunnel.
That's pretty historic, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where it all goes. It is wrong. Oh, did we re-roll any re-rolls for the NCOs?
I've got a 1.
I've got a couple of 1s.
I don't need it, do I?
You don't need it. I'm going to re-roll them just in case it makes a difference.
Yes.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Unfortunately, his sacrifice.
I can't kill a man twice, can I? So there's not much point in me re-rolling.
So the Germans advance by the number of positions. So you caused a difference of 4 casualties. So they're going to move up 4 positions.
Do we keep the flamethrower for the day, or it disappears off?
I think you then move up an extra post for every one. So the flamethrower and NCO drop out because that's the end of day's fighting, but the squad is going to go. So they were there, so they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they advance a further 3 because they destroyed the defence in the first round. So literally, they're going to be right up at the corridor. So that's a massively successful German attack.
It is, but I don't like what's at the end of that corridor, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so we're on to day 2 now, aren't we?
Yeah, things are hotting up here big time. So you've played reinforcements.
That's right.
This tunnel is on the verge of breaking into the barracks in the main corridor. If the Germans take this barricade, they win. The French surrender.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
You play reinforcements.
I've added my 2 fellas down here at the back, Hans and Fritz. So that comes off, doesn't it?
It does. That's played.
That card. Then I've also played flamethrowers on the roof.
Yes, indeed. Right, okay.
Do you want to explain this one, James?
Yeah, so that's a pre-game one. So in the actual battle, there was a crack in the corridor ceiling around about where my hand is here, and in one of the attacks the Germans brought up a pioneer team and fired flamethrowers through the roof, which filled the corridors with smoke and caused panic.
Shocking.
So you're gonna roll a dice now. You're gonna get a 1, obviously. If you get a 1, the French open the vents and the smoke blows back at the attackers, and you're going to lose 2 figures from each German squad.
Which I don't mind so much over there because I've got the reinforcements.
Yeah.
But over here,
Could be a problem.
I don't want to lose.
What have we got?
So we got a 6.
It's a 6.
Yay.
Remove 2 French models from each French squad. So so the French are basically taking casualties from both squads fighting through terror, basically, morale.
Yeah.
That's inhalation of smoke.
So that now goes.
That's gone. That's been used. Right, do you want to do this side then?
Let's do it, shall we?
Okay. Now I've got a reinforced barricade card here.
Yeah.
So the French did build some of the sandbag barricades right up to the roof, and this is one of these. You have to win by 2 here to take this barricade.
Okay.
So, and it makes sense for it to be here.
Yeah.
So a win of 1 will just count as a draw in this situation.
Right.
Machine gun, however, and there's some thrilling and terrifying stories of people holding machine guns at very close quarters in these corridors, and that's what this is. So, although the squad is down to 6 men because of the losses due to the flamethrowers, they keep firing with 8 dice, regardless of casualties.
Okay, so that's the machine gun just hammering away.
Yeah, it is. After each turn, however, after each round of combat, if we roll a 1, the machine gun is jammed and abandoned.
Right.
And I can't imagine loading Hotchkiss in those would be very nice. So,
meanwhile, on my side, I'm rolling 12 dice. Is that right?
That's correct.
I've got a 10-man squad with those extra 2 reinforcements that I didn't lose. But I'm still rolling 6s though.
Yeah.
But I need to beat you by 2.
Yeah.
So I need to get 2 6s, and you need to get 0.
Exactly so.
But you're rolling 5s though, aren't you? 5s and 6s.
That's right. Yeah. You can see how this is balanced now. You had an incredible first day here. I don't think all the times we ran this at the shows, I don't think anybody had a first day that good.
I don't think it's going to go that good again. I've blown my load. And I definitely have blown my load. Let's see what you got.
Just the 2 5s.
2, okay.
And you've got no 6s at all.
None whatsoever.
So, that's 2 casualties on the Germans, so take off 2 Germans.
Right. Take those 2 fellas off.
Now, you don't retreat at this point.
Right, okay.
You will lose positions in the tunnel if we wipe out the entire German squad before the end of the day.
And I get knocked back again then, don't I? So now I'm down.
Next round, you lose 2 dice.
So I'm down to 10.
I need to dice to see if the machine gun jams.
Okay.
So if it's a 1, the Hotchkiss has jammed.
Come on, baby. It's not your day.
It's gone. So the Hotchkiss is jammed, being dragged back for de-jamming, meaning that I haven't got my 8 dice anymore. I'm now on 6.
Right.
So we're now fighting with the number of men in the squad rather than
the machine gun itself. Right. So has the machine gun disappeared now then completely?
It's out. Yes, it's out of this particular round of combat.
Yeah, right. So I've again scored no hits there.
Well, I've got 2. So once again, the Germans lose 2 figures, and we hold our position.
I don't like this.
So lose 2 dice out of your tray.
The boot is on the other foot, isn't it?
Indeed.
Well, the glove is on the other foot at this point.
Yeah,
it feels like.
Right. So now you're down to 8 dice. Plays my 6.
That's right. So.
But I'm looking for 5s.
2 6s this time.
Good work. Well, I've got 2 6s and a 5 though.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this card.
What's that card?
This card is Neville's Relief Attack Falters.
Oh, yes.
Keep this card in hand until played. When you play this card, you may force the French player to reroll all of his hits for 1 round of combat.
That is dastardly.
A dastardly German trick.
Yeah, so this is referring to General Nivelle, who sent up a relief attack. So various runners, and Cadet Buffet amongst them, ran back from Fort Vaux to try and get help, say, look, we're cut off, we're stuck in this fort with 600 men, come and get a relief attack. And they did watch the relief attack faltering just outside the fort, which would have dented
it would have helped them, Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for that. Okay, so I've got those 3 hits, which I'm going to re-roll. One hit.
Only one this time.
You have scored 2 casualties, so I lose 2 figures.
I take 1 casualty.
You take 1, but because we have a reinforced barricade, you need to beat us by 2, not 1.
That's what I was hoping
we're still holding on. So it's the evening now of the second day.
This is the last.
So this is the final attack.
So I'm down by another dice, aren't I?
You are down by another dice. I'm only on 4 dice now, but we're down with just to let you know, you can withdraw if you want to. You can pull back and take yourself back to Prussia or wherever. If you withdraw, if your German squad is wiped out, what happens is the French retake 1 position up the corridor.
Right.
If you withdraw, it just ends the turn where it is. In your situation, I wouldn't, because we've only got 4 dice, we're not going to wipe you out.
No, but
if you had a very, very weak squad at this point, you might.
Yeah, okay, yes, that's a fair point.
Choose to hold
I was thinking about maybe holding there, but yeah, you're right. You're not going to kill everybody, are you? So at least I'm still in position.
1 hit.
No hits.
Yeah. So the Germans lose another figure, and the French hold that position for the day.
Oh dear. Well,
so reinforced barricade and machine gun have paid off.
They certainly did, didn't they? I mean, I got all the way up there, but
However, those 2 cards are now gone because the French can't renew their card deck during the game. So that's some of our best cards played.
Right, so on the left-hand tunnel, or the right-hand tunnel, depending on which side you're on, I've got grenades again.
Okay,
so
well,
I've got some grenades.
I've got worse than that. We've called for the Soissons-15, the 75mm bombardment.
Don't like the sound of that.
We're going to roll a die to see if the bombardment arrives. So a pigeon has been sent from Pigeon Central saying, shell
pigeon.
Those Germans for us. And there are, because you can see the thickness of the fort there, because the roof of the fort was so light, that the lighter caliber guns could just shell the fort with no adverse effects on the defenders.
Yes.
But there's some account, I remember, of Germans being thrown around like rag dolls and stuff, and you can imagine if they got the timing right, very unpleasant. Anyway, roll a die. If you get a 1 to 2, the bombardment never arrives.
Right.
It's a 5. Bombardment's coming in. Before the Germans attack, their troops are shelled whilst moving up to the fort. Roll 10 dice, causing casualties on a 5 to 6.
This is like basically a free attack for you.
This is basically a free attack. They've been caught in the open. They've been spotted on their way up to the fort. A pigeon has been sent, and they're going to get it. So this is going to remove figures from your guys before we start. Oh! 5 hits there. Take off 5 figures.
Oh, brave defenders.
So someone's got through with the grenades, but not enough.
Yeah, 5 men left.
So 5 gone, 5. So really, this attack is not looking great.
No,
however, use the grenades. Roll the d6.
See what happens. And I need high on this one.
5.
Remove 2 French soldiers.
Oh, this is bad because the flamethrower attack earlier reduced us by 2. So we only have a squad of 4 fighting off 5. Odds are still on our side, I agree.
The odds are on your side, but you're not going to wipe me out, are you? That's the thing, at least. I will at least have 1 man left.
Why?
Well, you can only kill 4, can't you?
Yeah, we've got 4 turns to play.
Oh yeah.
This is the morning attack.
Oh yeah.
Right, there's 1.
I've got none.
Right, take off 1 gone.
Right.
Round 2.
So
we're down to 4 dice apiece.
Well, this is the question then, isn't it? Yeah, do I halt the attack here?
Yeah.
Because there is a chance now you could wipe everybody out, isn't there?
There is. And if that is the case, then we will advance down and take that position there before the next day's attack.
We fought hard for that. So you know what?
You going for it?
I'm going to stop.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to stop on that one. I think it's just too risky because if you only kill a couple, you've got a good chance.
The news from the other tunnel is good. Well, it was good yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's say today. Right. In which case, the sun sets on day 2, and the French are still holding the latrines and the main corridor.
So we're just on to what day?
Day 3, third day of the siege.
And what's just happened there, James?
The French are running out of cards, but I've played the Renal card. So Major Renal, who was the absolute stalwart defender during the siege, commanding the garrison, has come down with his dog to help mine the barricade. Sure. He's going to give us some re-rolls in the combat, but is also going to increase the risk. If Renal is killed or wounded or captured, that's it, game over.
Oh, really? Okay, so
big risk.
Putting a lot in. I have gone for grenades.
Yeah.
And I've also gone for reinforcements.
Okay.
So I get an extra 2 fellows in here.
That's right.
So I'll put those in. So I'm up to 12 now, and then my grenades. And because your reinforced barrier has disappeared,
it has.
It's a little bit easier. Hopefully, a little.
You
bit
need to
easier
win by 1 to win the game. We're obviously going to roll some really good dice and hold you off.
Yeah, of course. The French dice. Right. So I'm rolling 12, and you're rolling
8.
8.
Now, Renal, this allows them to re-roll any missed attack dice that roll a 1 or a 2.
Wow.
There is a risk to Renal, of course.
A little bit like the NCO, but better, isn't it? Because they're only
exactly. He's come down personally.
I'm rolling 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. So I'm still looking for 6s here. The Germans haven't improved their firing, so I've got a 1.
Right. I've got 2 5s and a 6.
Oh, I didn't do the grenades as well.
You didn't.
I'll just roll that now, shall I?
Yeah, do that now, go on.
Probably won't do much.
No, don't do that now, Alex.
That's 2 French soldiers,
right. Okay.
Sorry, I did forget about that.
Okay.
In the excitement.
Right. Let's assume then that one of those guys is killed, so if we just do 2 to 1.
Okay, yeah.
So
we're playing amongst friends.
We are, absolutely. It's all about telling the story.
It is.
One of my dice was a 2, so I'm going to re-roll that for Renal's influence.
Fair enough.
He's not come up trumps. Right. So you need to remove 2 figures, and I need to remove 1.
Yeah, so you've still beaten me anyway, haven't you?
Yes, I'm still holding you off. But as you said, because the reinforced barricade has gone from last turn, it's been damaged in the fighting, whatever, then it's no longer the position it was.
Well, at least we've pushed some of the sandbags over, but just not.
So I'm down 7 and you're down to 10.
That's right. Go on, Snake Eyes. I don't want Snake Eyes, I want Box Guys.
Yeah.
I've got 1.
Right, I've got 3 and 2 2s, which are Renan's speciality.
Yeah, so you can re-roll those.
Yeah, we often joke about in Midgard putting in a re-roll 2s special rule. It would be so popular because you always miss on 2s, not 1s. Yeah. We have another hit.
Wow, so that's 4 against 1.
4 against 1. Right.
So let's just see where.
Now I need to dice to see if Renal has been killed or wounded in the fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to roll twice because I forgot to roll the first round, as you did. But if I get a 1 on either of these, he's been captured or killed or wounded, and the siege is over.
Yeah.
No, 4 and a 5, he's still fighting. Right. Round 3. We still have 4 dice going on here. What about you?
I've got 2, 4, 6 now. I think I'm going to stay in the fight at least for 1 more time. This is 3, isn't it? 3 of 4. So I'm going to fight at least 1 more.
There's an iron cross in this.
I think there is.
Some writer, isn't there?
There's got to be. Well, another 1 kill.
I have 1 hit. Sorry, I have no hits, but I've got a re-roll for Renal. He's failed to hit.
So I've killed one of yours at least.
You kill 1. Let's see if Renal has been killed or captured on a 1.
No.
He has not. But you've won the combat by 1. So meaning they're over the barricade.
I'm pushing in.
They're in. The siege is over. Well done. There you go.
Brilliant.
Good work.
Ends the game, doesn't it? Fantastic. Cracking.
Thought we could hold them off there, but Renal is now going to have to surrender, at least with honours, and go into captivity with his dog. Never mind.
Right, even though I have actually just won the game, we are going to play the second tunnel just to play it to completion.
Indeed.
So I've gone for heroic NCO.
Yes.
And I've also gone for reinforcements.
And 2 more figures. So, very sensible.
Yeah, I'll stick those 2 guys in there and my NCO down the front.
Yep.
Pointing the way forward.
I'm just on 8.
Shoot them over there. So I'm on 12 this time. 2, 4, 6, 8.
Oh, that'll do. Just
12.
4 hits, Alex.
Just 4. Wow.
Just 4.
Wow. Let's see what we get over here. 1 again.
Okay. 1 Frenchman gone.
Mm-hmm. And 4 Germans. The brave boys of the Vaterland. So that knocks me down to 8 then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm on 7.
Hang on, I can re-roll. I forgot about this heroic.
You've got 3 ones.
I've got 3 ones in there. Yeah, I keep forgetting about these cards. Too excited to get in with a bayonet. So I've got 3 ones, so I can re-roll those for the.
You need all of these to draw.
And none.
Not very heroic. Now, just roll a d6 for him. If he gets a 1, he is killed or wounded in the combat.
So
He's still going. So you can keep using the card for the next round. That's the idea. Yep.
So how many?
Right, next round.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, 8.
9,
So this is not
you remembered it. So look, 6s, please. This time I've got 2 and 1, 1. So I can re-roll that 1. I'll give that a go. So that's another 1. No.
I've got 2.
You got 2, so 2 for 2 then.
2 for 2.
Yeah. 2 for 2 and 2 for 2. So take those
I'm
off.
down to 5 dice.
Let me check if that NCO is killed.
Oh, yeah.
And
No.
3, no he isn't.
He's not really taking the big risk here, is
1,
he?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 this time for me. Against how many are you on?
5.
5.
Yeah. See the odds. We're whittling it down.
Yeah, you're definitely in command here. Right, so I've got hit 1 and I've got another 1 there. So I'll try that. I get a 6. No. So 1 hit
this
again.
NCO really is 2 against 1, so I lose 1. It's the last round of the day. The Germans can
Test
withdraw.
if that NCO disappears.
Oh yeah, NCO.
No,
he survived again.
So there is an iron cross at least somewhere in there.
Yeah. Let's do the final round, given you can hear cheering from the other tunnel.
Yeah, there. And not a single hit or a 1.
No.
So no re-rolls,
So
no hits.
this tunnel, the latrine has been held, but they're going to have to surrender because the main corridor has been taken.
Two kills on
There
there,
you go.
wasn't it? That's it. So yeah, we didn't need to play that, but it was just an interest.
Yeah.